Hello everyone, Zoro Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and the One Piece locals gameplay videos are back. In the first round we have a Zoro and Sanji going against a Dofi list here. Really cool, interesting deck, the Zoro and Sanji deck. Everyone knows what Dofi does, which I mean it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. I'm not sure what Zoro and Sanji's game plan is. I haven't played against the deck a ton. But I do know that you just get to, you know, bounce something and then set up to one of your characters that are 7,000 or less back to active. But both players, excuse me, are just going to be seeing some searchers and some early draw here on the board. Just going to swing in with the leader here, and Dofi having to take this. Just playing down to, I think, stack their deck here, trying to figure out which cards to put on the top or bottom. He's going to put them on the top in the order that he wants. Hopefully he can curve out in the right order that he wants. The 4 Dawn turn is a really good turn for a Dofi player. Usually when the deck is kind of online and a lot of your plays are active. Does get to, you know, put that Dawn on the leader. Putting another Dawn, maybe choosing to use this effect. Knew that Jinbei was there, able to play out a boa, so really curving out really good here for the doflamingo player, playing the Jinbei, being able to search with the boa. Is just going to stack up another Dawn and swing, and then he blocked through, and the other character is just a little too low to swing, so maybe just wanting to make sure that the Zoro and Sanji player has to block out there. Is going to use his effect to bounce something back, swinging into life, because you do have to do this when attacking with the Dawn underneath it. And he is facing a big board here. I'd be very interested to see how he gets out of this exactly. A lot of characters. He does still have his bodies on the board. But the Dofi isn't really opposing a lot of attacks, right? He's got the Jinbei and he has the boa, so he can swing in with those to try to get some characters off of life, or he's going to have to play something else out. Is going to choose to do the boa, letting him look at the top cards of his deck, putting in whichever order he wants to. Now he's able to use the Dofi effect. Is going to swing in with the teach here. I think this is just 5k, so he was probably thinking about comboing out. Does still have the leader effect, but yeah, you just got to swing out with the bodies you have on board and then go in with the leader here. Choosing not to use the leader effect, but now that he has some of these suspended bodies on the board, hopefully the Zoro Sanji player can try to swing into some of these suspended bodies and clear off the board a little bit. Just swinging in with the Weevil, able to block out with the boa and drop a combo out of hand. But he is playing a Weevil here, so he should be able to, you know, he does get to swing in, take out the teach. Now he can swing with the leader and can bounce something back to restand. I think choosing not to do that, showing us his hand here. I think that looked like there was a couple of bounce spells, so maybe he can, showing us at the camera that he's able, if he can live through this turn, probably able to push some pressure on the board. Curious why he didn't use the leader effect though to bounce the Sengoku back to the hand to restand the Weevil. Just playing the Perona here, able to stack the deck in whichever way they see fit. Perona is such a good card for this deck, being able to give you that consistency piece, let you be able to make sure you get your leader effect, and having so many characters on the board here, you really don't want to have to waste some of these people, right? So which is what he's having to do. He's able to play through, put the teach down, able to stack something on top of his deck. He's probably going to be able to play this character out and just replace it with the Perona, I would imagine. But depending on how much he swings in here, he could provide, what's 3 life left, 2, 4 bodies, 5 bodies that can swing, or 4 bodies that can swing because he just played the Teach. So the Teach can't swing. But I would be very curious to see what he does. Is going to bounce character back to the hand. Able to swing in with the leader. Going to combo out here. Going to come out again to the Jinbei swing. So he's able to not take any life here. So maybe he can clear some of these bodies off and then also be able to push a little damage. He is only sitting at 2 life here. So maybe choosing not to go into the characters early was okay. Because now he can try to clear off this Weevil. Gonna combo out. Swinging with the leader into the Jinbei, but just going to block with the boa and combo out. Is going to play the gravity blade, going to bounce both the boas back to the bottom of the deck, so able to clear a couple of bodies off and keep himself out of danger from this upcoming turn. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, he can't bounce anything because that Sengoku is a 1 cost, right? Like, I think you have to bounce a 2 cost or higher to the hand, so that is why he's not able to keep restanding that Weevil. But the Weevil is such a high, you know, DP that if I was the Dofi player here, I think I would just stack up on your Weevil to get rid of that Weevil, because that Weevil's been on the board for a while here and definitely is something that is, you know, posing a problem. Just using the law to bounce back the Weevil and the law. I know that law is one of the cards a lot of people are thinking that may get hit in the deck, providing too much of clear for such a cheap cost. A lot of people thinking maybe that's a little too strong. I am curious to what may get hit in the deck. Wow, a nice check here with this gravity blade, trying to decide what he wants to get rid of. This is going to be a tough choice, right? And he's going to choose to take it to the hand, not wanting to bounce something back to the hand here, not wanting him to get these characters back into his hand and able to play out, because he is sitting, you know, a little low in his hand here. Is able to finally get to the Tendon. He only has 1 life. I don't know if this deck runs any rushers being in blue and green. But he's just going to play out the small character that lets him play out the Weevil. This is the combo you want to see here, because now he can bounce her back to the hand and then restand that Weevil. But he's got to think about how much he wants to do here. Does get the swing, bounce the card back, and is able to Gravity Blade the other cards. And he may live to see another turn here now, right? Because that's just a buggy and the leader, so hopefully he can combo out. He does have 2, 4, 5 cards in hand, so hopefully he can see another turn. And now as the Doflamingo player, you've been able to play all these bodies, but you haven't been able to really swing into life and get a lot of checks in here. I think managing their hand pretty well on the Zoro and Sanji players' side has helped them out a lot to stay pretty healthy in life. And even though they're just sitting at 1 life now here, they would have to take their turn to either load up on this buggy and load up on the leader to swing in. Is going to play his own gravity blade here, which it feels really, really bad. That is really unfortunate for the Zoro and Sanji player to get that to hit him there. Let's see if he does have that play again. If he has that same play, he could probably go for game here. Yep, he does have it, playing it down, playing out the Weevil. He can swing with the leader, restand the Weevil. If he does have a, you know, a way to clear up that body or play a blocker, he might be in good shape. Really close game here. I know the player on the left, he has been working so hard on this Zoro and Sanji deck, curving out his deck to, you know, combat the meta as best he can. And I love to see players who, you know, take their time with a deck they really, really believe in. And even though a lot of people don't, you know, play this deck, if you take a deck and you take enough time with it, you can, you know, do well. And he's showing exactly here why this is possible. He is able to swing in with the bow, or play the bow out, play out the small characters to get the Weevil back on the board. So he does have a blocker here, and depending on how this goes, this may be game. He has 10 Dawn. He can stack up, you know, on the buggy, but unless he has a way to get 2 attacks in, he may lose next turn, right? Like, Dofi doesn't run any rushers in the deck, so he really only has the 2 characters on board, and no life though, and 1 blocker. I think you probably just swing enough with the buggy, like put the Dawn on the buggy to be able to swing over the boa, force them to have to block, and then stack the rest of the Dawn on the leader, and then hope and pray that they don't have enough combo in hand. And I know he has cards in his hand, but I think at this stage of the game, you really should, you know, just be aware that that's really the only play you got. If you don't have any rushers, you have to win this turn or you lose next turn. Sometimes having cards in your hand can be like a detriment, right? Like a lot of times I'll put my cards, you know, face down, and then look at the state of the game, and then look at my cards, and then put them back down to try to help me out, which is what I think he's doing here. You know, trying to look at his trash, now looking at his hand. But I do think the only play is to swing out and pray here, because you don't have any rushers in the deck, and unless he has a blocker, he's probably in trouble, because he can swing and use the, you know, leader effect to restand that Weevil. So he has 3. He is going to get to bounce these 2 characters to the bottom of the deck, but I don't think that that's going to be enough to help him out here, because now he can just try to swing in, but 8 is not a lot. He has all these cards in his hand, and he is able to live through it here. I think the better play would have just tried to be to swing in, going with the 8, knowing that they had 6 cards in their hand. It only takes, you know, 2Ks to get out of that. Is just going to swing in now with the small bodies, has to combo out, is going to swing in, uses the leader effect to bounce the character, and then does get to swing in with the small body here. Really good plays by him. This same Zoro and Sanji player is going into the second round, and yes, once again, he's going to have to play Dofi. I'm sure a lot of people are used to seeing Dofis at their first tables, at their locals, not just at their locals, but you are going to have to see a lot of Dofis in general in a lot of One Piece tournaments, and I think that that's why a lot of people are asking for the deck to get hit, because it really has just been such a presence in the meta for such a long time. And if we go off of, you know, history from Bandai, if something's in the meta and it's the best deck for too long, they've done a pretty good job with One Piece, Digimon, and their other card games of, you know, putting some work on those decks to, you know, change them to not be such a problem. But Dofi isn't going anywhere if they don't hit it, so you're going to see them at a lot of top tables. I know a lot of people ask for some, you know, variety in the decks that have gotten shown, but I can't control what the players are playing. Does get a good board state here with the Teach, the Perona's down. He does have the Boa down, played out for the leader effect, and is able to swing in with the leader effect. He is down to 3 life now, only being a 4 life leader for the Zoro and Sanji. Does make it a little tough, does get the combo out here. Is going to get to play the Boa blocker down, and chooses to put all those cards on the bottom of the deck. So you can see here with the Zoro Sanji deck, you do run a 7 Warlords of the Seas package as well. I think all those cards are just so strong in the game, where so many other blue decks require this package to have a presence in the card game. And that's why it's going to be hard for them to figure out what to do with the Dofi, because if you start touching those cards, all the other decks also suffer not being able to play with the legacy cards, right? Especially the Boa and Jinbei combo being one of the best, you know, blue combos you can run in any deck. Any blue deck, if you're on a blue deck, you're most likely going to be playing, you know, those cards. Is going to swing in big here with this Boa. This would be a lot of cards to have to drop to combo out of, and he does do it knowing that he doesn't want to take a lot of life early, and knowing that going into Dofi, a lot of these other small bodies, he's going to have to show his hand and either play something with the leader effect, or, you know, you stack Dawn on the small bodies. And I think that, oh, this hurts here, playing the Charlotte, having to shuffle his hand, knowing that he just curved his hand out the way he wanted to. He did get, why play the, I think maybe the sequencing there should have been a little different, right? I think you play her first, make them have to shuffle their hand. He would have lost one card. He would have been one card down, so you would have got an extra card, and then not know if they can combo out, right? So I think if he would have sequenced that a little bit different, playing the Charlotte down first and then swinging with the boa, would have been a little bit better to play, but that's that. I'm pretty sure that would be better sequencing though, right? Because you want to get a card out of the hand, put them down one less card, and then hope that they have the combo beforehand, whereas he was able to block out of that boa life, and this may come to hurt him. This is the Mihawk from the, I think, structure deck, which is letting him play out the character. Is going to swing the boa into boa here. Is going to be able to use a leader effect, going to bounce the character back to hand to get the boa back up. And he's going to have to try to combo out again here. So knowing that the boa can swing again, I think you don't waste any more cards to keep this boa alive, because while you are a value deck as well, the Zoro and Sanji is also a value deck, so they don't mind you trading bodies here, right? You got to go more at life, and I think he realized there, you know, maybe I shouldn't combo out again, knowing that he could just swing with another character and maybe try to save that combo for the cards in hand. Is able to get the Sengoku that lets him search out the Weevil, which is a super strong, and now he gets to play the Buggy, which will let him stack cards on his deck. He's trying to decide if he wants them on the top or bottom. He does put them in the order that he wants on the top, and now it's over to the Dofi player. Only having the Teach on board, no big bodies to really swing with, and you really can't pose a lot of pressure, whereas now looking at the Zoro and Sanji player, that's a pretty scary board, right? With the boa being there, being such a strong character up on the field. I think he has been 3 cards deep on his deck, so we don't know what this card is on the top. So this may be one of the risky plays that he would have to do with this Dofi, not knowing what could be on the top of the deck. But he is just going to load up on the character, going to block with the boa, and use the 1K to keep her alive. So now if he really wanted to, he could stack up that Dawn and take out that boa, which is exactly what I would do right now. I would stack that Dawn and swing on the boa, but he is just going to double play out the Jinbei with the Teach, having to lose his Perona from the hand. But you know, this does give him, you know, a more threatening play for next turn, but it's not helping him push the state of the game this turn now, right? Like he's helping himself for the next turn, and he's not swinging into this boa, and I think he's just going to get clapped back down on, right? Like he didn't take care of the boa, and he sees all the characters on the board here. He does have the Teaches, but I don't think that that's enough, because we do know that he runs the Gravity Blade, so he can swing with these characters to clear those bodies. And then you see he's putting out the Dawn here, so he probably does have the Gravity Blade if we can just think to what we've seen him play so far. Is just going to play the 3 to tap down the Jinbei, and is going to swing 7 at the Jinbei, lets him, you know, bounce the character back to his hand. Is going to play it again to tap another character down. I think he's taking it back here, choosing not to do that actually. But that character coming down, yeah, he is going to do that. Going to tap down the Teach. Now he should be able to swing with his leader effect here. It's going to bounce the character back to his hand. That card is so good in this deck. This combo is so good. Being able to keep playing this character out and keep tapping their characters down. He's just going to swing into the boa to clear the board, which is why he should have took that boa out for sure. And then now passing the turn here, not able to get any daunt on the Goku to swing, but he is in a little trouble here, not having that boa standing up, only having 1 life. And if he really wants to, he could just, you know, we saw this mistake in the last game, right, with the doflamingo. You have all these cards and combos you want to do in your hand and your deck, and it makes you think about not just looking at the board. Is going to use the Law to bounce the Law and one of these other characters back to their hand. is just bouncing the law back to his hand, so that way he can use the Dofi effect to, you know, bounce the law back to the deck. Is going to swing in with the pudding here, knowing that the leader swing is coming. I think maybe you combo out of this one since it's a little bit lower, and then you take the leader swing. Pretty big play here. You really don't want to take this life, I think, because a trigger might help you, you know, tap down the other card. He does take the life. I'm not sure what he got here, but he is able to combo out of that. Not using the leader effect to play the top card, though. He didn't have any more Dawn up. It's just going to swing into the body to bounce the character back to his hand. Going to play the Goku back down. Ooh, nice. Gets to get the Law to his hand, the When Attacking Law. Good card for the deck. He's going to have to answer that Teach and then also play a blocker down, right? If he wants to live the following turn. Not able to get into life this game yet, other than the one life. Is going to play the Boa, gets to stack his deck in the order he wants, puts those cards on the bottom, doesn't want to see them. Probably not the spells, the options that he's looking for now, right? Gravity Blade's keeping him safe in the last game. Probably what he's looking for this time too. Is going to play her down just so that way he can swing and restand his other character and bounce her back. Maybe thinking about if he wants to give him cards to the hand here, but he is going to swing, bounce the Goku back to his hand, and pass his turn. So now we know that he does have a couple of 2K counters in the hand, and he does still have these Boas up. So he's looking pretty safe, unless the Doflamingo player sees a Gravity Blade here. He's going to be in trouble. This is tough. I don't know what he's going to do unless he can also play double Boas, which is a possibility. Is just going to swing, is going to use the leader effect to play down the character. I can't see from that art who that is. He does have to, you know, combo out here, right? Because he does combo out 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 5, 10,000. He combos out 2, 4, 6. So he does get to 11. Having all those 2Ks in hand, really needs to get a blocker on board. Why did the Doflamingo player not stack that other Dawn on his leader? He has 4 Dawn up, right? Unless he's got some cards in his hand that requires him to use those, I don't know why you don't just put that other 4 Dawn on your leader before swinging, right? I mean, I'm not sure what happened there. I think he definitely should have put that Dawn on there. He has 4 Dawn up. I'm not sure what counters that Doflamingo would be playing. Not sure what they're talking about here. Maybe some issue about if they saw this card or put it back on the top of his deck. Not sure what's going on here. I may have missed something, and maybe everybody's trying to talk about what's going on. But, you know, I was working this weekend, and all these players know exactly what they're doing. They're all very skilled players, so I let everyone, you know, figure it out together. Especially a couple of these players. I know a couple of them are judges. So maybe just explaining something here to the other player. But regardless, he has 4 Dawn up, right? And unless those 2 cards are counters in his hand that requires him to have 2 Dawn up, I still think that you put that 4 Dawn on your leader and you swing and make him have to, you know, answer that. I think he could have had game. To be completely honest. Searching here with the Sengoku, we see that he has 2 cards in his hand still. Is going to get the Buggy. Want to play 2 for the small character so that way he can swing and restand it. And it looks like he's just going to go for game here. I mean, that 4 Dawn is still up. He hasn't activated any counters from his hand. Going to swing in to bounce the character back to his hand. He does have the 2 Boas up still. Gonna keep the Boas standing. And he was able to live that turn, which is awesome. And he does have the 2 blow-up blockers, so, and I still think that maybe you swing with him and risk trying to go for the game. I'm not sure. Maybe he knows this player's list and knows what that 4 Dawn was up for. Maybe he had, you know, counters that he knows he runs in the deck and he wouldn't be able to go for game there. I'm not sure, but definitely the 4 Dawn had to made a difference then, right? Because he didn't try to swing in for game with the 4 Dawn up, maybe thinking he had something that he could do. Is going to swing with the leader here. Is going to bounce the boa back to the hand, which is unfortunate, but it does give him another card back in the hand. Does combo out of this here, and now he doesn't have another character to swing with. Right now, I think he just loses the game now, not being able to play anything else out, not having other Dawn up. Is just going to swing in, combos out the 8K here. Gonna stack up with the boa. Able to combo out again here. Is gonna swing in with the leader. Able to bounce the boa to restand. The Weevil is gonna take that life, add everything up. Cannot combo out the 10K. Really nice job by the Zoro Sanji player being able to make it through that game, right? Going into the 3rd round, we do have a purple Luffy player going against a black and yellow Luffy player. Pretty cool, iconic matchup seeing Luffys versus each other here. Both decks doing really, really cool things. I'm not sure how this matchup is percentage-wise, whether it's favored, but both players being able to see some searchers early are really good. And then just able to swing out and get 2 combos out of the hand. Wow, seeing that Bon Clay go is a really good card to see comboed out early, but not want to take that life because he is trying to use the leader effects to, you know, ramp up, bounce the card away, and then now able to swing. Just comboing out here. He is already ramped up though. I think that maybe if I had to think about it a little more, maybe PurpleLuffy can get online a little bit faster than BYLuffy, but the late game for both decks are really, really strong, both doing very different things, but really cool. I think hard to pilot decks, right? Like both these decks have a lot of things to think about, and it leads for a lot of room to misplay. It's just going to play down the law to search here. Still has a lot of Dawn up since he was able to ramp, and he's going to add another life to the hand to ramp again. And now look, this is just nasty what PurpleLuffy can do. A field full of characters, a field full of characters, yes. And playing down the Zoro, able to get the Dawn back, is able to search. Now he can just load up some Dawn, able to swing into leader, able to use the when attacking effect, does get to activate the trigger to search for one of these cards. Is going to choose to get the Rocket Luffy, probably able, trying to look for a way to clear off some of these bodies, and seeing a lot of pressure, right, from PurpleLuffy, able to take the BYLuffy down to 2 life. But, you know, a lot of, you know, BYLuffy decks are used to being at low life totals. Don't play these decks if you're faint of heart. Is just going to swing in to life here with the Luffy. Just going to combo out. He does have plenty of cards in his hand. We've seen him, you know, add a lot of cards to his hand from these searches. So much consistency in the deck. And now, look, he's at 10 Dawn before the other character even gets to the 7 Dawn. Is able just to put the Charlotte Linland, able to put her on top of the life. Is able to clear the board. And now this is looking even scarier than the last turn, right? Not able to swing out with the leader, but his is able to recover the life here. Forgot to do it earlier, but that's okay. They're fine. They both know what the card does. He just forgot to add it there. Back up to 3 life now from the Linland. In a tough spot now for the BYLuffy though. I know this is kind of when the deck starts to go online a little bit. Is able to look at his life and take a life. Is able to, you know, use the Rocket Luffy. Able to get his buff where he is online now, being such a big body leader. He is able to put the 2 characters face up back on his life. Is able to use the Sabo combo, playing the Sabo protection. The leader is boost up big time now. Big beefy Luffy leader here is able to trash those cards. And now it's just going to load up through here, swinging in. I think that's the Robin. I can't really see what that card was, but I think he was just swinging in to take out the Robin. Not want him to get that when attacking effects anymore. Just seeing who all he has in the trash, which is really relevant going against this deck. But now he's going to have to try to probably... Oh, the Lin again here. Able to trash, able to recover, and able to get rid of that Sabo. He is 9-9 though, so he is going to have to waste a card out of the hand here, which is a little unfortunate for the Luffy that he had to take that swing. But one card to keep your life active or alive is not so bad. Is able to just get the Sabo back though, since he has the baby Sabo. And he does get the protection and the leader boost. He is going to have to get that boost up to 9 if he's wanting to not have to take these Lin swings. He does have Dawn up, and he does have the Rocket Luffy, so he can try to swing on the other Lin and then use the Luffy to clear the other body, but he is going to just use the special card to clear the Lin and just going to swing in. Oh my god, I hate Gum Giant. That card is so stupid. Able to not really care about losing the Dawn, especially when you're playing purple. Get the free boost, get the free fixing in the hand. And if there's one card I had to choose in the game to go, it would be Gecko Moria and Gum Giant. That's just me personally. I think those cards are dumb. Swinging with the Sanji, able to tap down. The Sabo here is comboing out. Swinging into the lead, does drop another card. Only 2 cards in his hand now. Not looking good for the black-yellow Luffy player. Is going to have to see a Gecko Moria next turn probably if he wants to stay in this game. Which he's at 10 Dawn, right? And he's had a lot of cards in his hand. You see he set off 2 cards from the side and he has 8 in that pile, right? So that means he's probably got Gecko Moria and just thinking about what cards he wants to play and if the Gecko Moria could even keep him into the game here. Is just going to swing into life, and here we go. We see it now. Seeing the Gecko Moria is going to replace it with the Sabo. Going to stack up for the leader effect to get the 2 characters back to life, and now he gets to cycle out that really good Sabo again and able to trash or draw 2, trash 2. Now he has a Sabo. Now he has, I think this is 9 into the 7 here, but there we go. Once again, Gum Giant, such an absolutely stupid card, and then is able to just combo out of the other swing. Not having to worry about a lot here, right? With the Gum Giants, able to keep him safe in this and not having to take this life because that card is so strong. Able to boost him up so much here, and he still has one of the Lins, the Law, and the Sabo, or the Sanji on the board. Cool art on the Sanji there, for sure. A lot of really cool arts for that, for the purple Straw Hat Crew characters. Lin being in the deck makes it kind of funny. You know, one of their enemies is going to go and tap down the blocker here. That Usohachi, such a good card. Really, really good being able to tap down characters. And only for 3 Dawn too, so really, really good. Swinging in 10k with the Lin. Probably trying to decide if he wants to take this or not. Oh wow, having to drop 3 cards to not take that hit. Unfortunate having to drop so many cards. Now back to only having 2 cards in the hand. So you can see here he's getting just out-resourced with cards in the hand. They're both able to keep really healthy, you know, board states, but I think the draw from the purple package in the purple Luffy has just been able to help him maybe curve out his hand a little bit easier. Gonna have to combo out of this one as well. And I think now, even if he loads this Dawn up, right, he is safe for the turn. Is going to trash 1 to draw 2 just to cycle out, and not want to use that Dawn to try to get that life, knowing that he has the cards in his hand. Very unfortunate here, able to, you know, swing through, able to get another Gecko Moria on the board. He's probably going to get rid of the Kuzan since he already uses effect. Going to switch to Sabo, able to play out the Luffy. Able to use the Rocket Luffy to clear the Sanji. Able to use the leader effect to get the two face up back there. Now he is going to use the Sabo to get the Sabo out again. And he is able to, you know, stay pretty healthy with these blockers. Gonna have to see another combo out of the hand and swings in to take the body. Gonna search with the law. Hopefully he can find another tap down card. I don't think he did there. I can't really see what's in his hand too much. I think there is one there if he wanted to tap it down. But I think having two of them out now keeps him a little bit healthier than maybe. But I think you have to take that, right? I mean, that's what he keeps looking at. That's what he keeps trying to take to his hand. And absolutely, that's what you get. And you can see here on the black-yellow Luffy player, just knowing that, oh man, he got another one of those. Going to be really unfortunate. Is using the law to search again here. Going to be able to get whatever he wants to his hand. Someone came in here making sure he put the card on the bottom of the deck. I'm not sure what's going on. Another player just came in here making things probably a little complicated for them. Is adding the Sanji to the hand so he can tap down another character. He does have the Dawn for it. Looking like he's trying to count out his place here. Gonna have to get rid of these laws, but you don't care. Law got rid of everything. Is having a combo out and then able to block out the other character. No cards in his hand now, so he is just top decking. Not good to be top decking in black-yellow Luffy. Not seeing a ton of stuff in his hands here. Just gonna swing at life, knowing that there's probably not a lot he could do here if he doesn't have anything in his hand to play. Maybe Trish trying to decide if he, you know, he's like, does he have another Gum Gum Giant? He's thinking about going for game here probably, right? He's like, if he's got another Gum Gum Giant, he has 3 Dawn up, then I just lose the game. But I think you probably have to try to go for game here, and if they have it, they have it. He's already played 2, but you've seen him search, and none of the cards that he added to his hand from those searchers were a Gum Gum Giant. We know that he has, you know, 2 1K combos from those cards he searched, but he does have 3 other cards in his hand, so the chances he have a Gum Gum Giant may be pretty high. He may be able to live another turn if he doesn't swing here, but that is also not likely because we saw him. He should be able to tap down the Sabo next turn, so I think either way next turn he's probably going to be out of the game here. Playing a Gecko Moria. If he had the Gecko Moria in his hand, then I'm not sure what he was thinking about too much there. I think that is just an easy play. Gecko Moria coming down, able to clear one of the bodies, able to get the 2 characters back to life here, and is going to have to play one of them back out, which is definitely going to be the Sabo, which lets him get the boost here. And no cards in hands though, right? No cards in hand. He has to draw 2, trash those 2 cards. Just swinging into the Lin Lin. He's going to combo out of this. No reason to let this character go for free. He does have cards in his hand still. Only, you know, that Gecko Moria and Sabo don't have rush, right? So he can only swing leader now, and he's not going to swing with that other Sabo, right? So you just keep this character alive. I think that maybe he could be able to go for a game next turn. It is a pretty beefy swing. He might have to drop 2 cards, I think, here. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And he does drop the 2 1Ks, able to get it to 11, and it survives. Probably the right call. So now he can try to push for game here. Even though he does have 2 Sabo blockers out, he doesn't have a lot, you know, a lot else that he can do. He got no cards in his hand, 1 life, 2 blockers. It's all in the power of the purpleluffy player here now, right? Like, if he can just find a way to go for game this turn, he shouldn't have too much to worry about next turn. These blockers are an issue. Is able to, you know, play the Lin Lin again, put one of the blockers out, and recover. This Lin Lin is such a great card for so many decks. Is able to block with the Sabo, so he's able to live again, but that is his old turn, and he is top decking, right? So it's not like a lot of his plays can do a whole lot to help him here. Only seeing 1 card each turn. I think now next turn, unless that's another Gecko Moria, he's not doing a whole lot with this turn, or unless it's another blocker, but it's probably just one of the babies. and he doesn't have any way to get rid of that Lin, which is probably going to cost him game. He has already cycled through a lot of his deck, right? You can see, yeah, you can see that, you know, he has a graveyard full of characters in there. He's been through a lot of his deck, probably already seen a lot of his cycle pieces. I do think that that was just someone coming in here telling him that they are on turns. Not that I think it matters too much. He is able to play the Luffy to get the boost and draw a card. But it should just be able to finish up the game, swinging in with the Luffy, swinging in with the Lin. Really close game there, both of those decks being able to see what they wanted to do. I think the consistency of the purpleluffy is just a lot to, you know, for them to have to take on here. But, alright, in the finals here, we do have the purpleluffy player, and then the Zoro and Sanji player did get paired down in their last match, but they were able to win, and now we get to go into 4 games for this tournament here today. Nice that we actually got to go to 4 turns in this tournament. Usually, someone loses their pair down somehow, and we never get to do 4, but we usually do always have enough people to do it. Both just starting with some searchers here, some small bodies. Is able to see the Zoro early and the Law, so able to cycle his hand, which we were able to see, you know, before the last game. That's what they were able to do, and they were able to, you know, cultivate a big hand for them to play through the Luffy player. Even though this is the 3rd game that I'm, you know, commentating over for the Zoro and Sanji player, I'm still not sure like what the ideal turns that he wants is. He's played a lot of different characters in all these games, right? This is the first time we're able to see him with the Jinbei Weevil start, which is definitely better than any of the hands he's had in any of these previous games to apply some pressure down on his opponent, because we haven't seen a single Jinbei in any of his 3 games, right? So I'm sure he's pretty ecstatic to see the Jinbei Weevil combo, the Weevil being able to provide the 6k body on the board that you can keep restanding, and I think he should be able to, you know, bounce back one of his characters to keep bringing that guy back to life. I'm pretty sure that is the on-play draw card Weevil, the 6k one. It's hard to see from here, but it's just going to take this into life. Getting some more cycle here for the purpleluffy player, able to trash 1, draw 2. Gonna do the same thing again, trash 1, draw 2. He's got so many cards in his hand. Probably got a couple of giants in there to keep him safe like the last game. Hopefully for him, because this Weevil and Jinbei are gonna swing in, probably try to clear the board off a little bit. And he's letting the opponent, if you take 2 dice to have to tell your opponent the cards in hand, that's how you know you got a lot of cards in your hand, right? So knowing that he's just going to be able to combo out, that's a pretty big flex there. I'm going to show you how many cards I got. Over 6 cards in my hand. Is able to combo out of everything. Is just gravity blading the other bodies off the board. So pretty easy way to clear off the board with that card, and because these laws are not going to be able to swing unless he adds a lot of Dawn up. Just going to swing with the leader, trying to get a free card out of the hand before he sees what else he can possibly do. Oh yeah, that's the rush. So he's able to swing in with the rush here, and he does not want to lose this Weevil, and he has to lose it. He does pass a turn, but he is sitting at 2 life, which is nice. I don't think that Luffy was able to take that life and ramp up. Probably didn't have the cards in hand. Knowing that he has enough cards in hands from all the searching, you know, you don't always have to ramp up if you don't want to. A lot of cards in hand, so he knows he's going to combo out here. Same thing with the leader, just gets the blocker. Able to play down the Zoro for 9. And if this Zoro stays on the board, he is... We haven't seen him play this Zoro the whole game, right? So cool to know that he does have it in the deck, and he does have, you know, a big body, and this is the first big body we've seen him play the whole game in all these games. Is going to use the Lin so that way he can get rid of the Jinbei and then recover a life. With the Lin on the board now, hopefully he has a what you call it in his hand so he can get rid of that body, right? And trying to look at his hand here, I do not think that he has any way to clear off that Lin, so he's going to have to just provide a blocker somewhere. Is going to swing in is going to tap a Dawn for the Gum Gum Giant. We knew it was coming. That card is, once again, so crazy, giving you so many different ways to keep your characters alive. Is just going to tap the Dawn to swing into it again. Probably going to tap another Dawn to swing into it one more time, and you're going to have to take it out. So fortunate enough he was able to clear the body here, but unfortunate that he's not able to swing into life. And then now he is able to play the boa blocker, which will help him keep the Zoro alive. Is able to swing in with the Mihawk and the leader to get 2 checks into life here, but that is 2 cards that you're putting in the purple Luffy player's hands. And we see here now that he is only at 9 Dawn. He is probably not going to ramp here. I don't think there's many cases that he would need to go to 10 Dawn in this deck, because we know that he runs the Lin-Lins, and we haven't seen him run any 10 drops in the deck. Just going to try to swing into the Mihawk, and he does get the check through. The Mihawk has done its job. It got a check in, so not much more you can ask out of the on-play 4K body. Is swinging with the Lin-Lin. Cannot take this, though. Probably easier just to combo out of the Lin-Lin. I think he's swinging on the Zoro, but he is just swinging into life. Did not swing on the Zoro here, and he must have some way to try and get rid of the Zoro, but is just going to play down the Luffy Taro and playing down the Zoro Joro here, which is going to let him, be able to search and get a card to his hand. Does still have 1 Dawn up, which is probably going to be the Gum Gum Giant, right? Immediately just swinging into life here with the Zoro, swinging again, having to take this. I think now you just bring it back up, swing again with the Gum Gum Giant, able to boost it up, but he still does have the Dawn here. Oh, he's not able to get there, and so he does take the win with the Zoro, able to see the Zoro really strong from there. These are both the list. I'll link them in the profile. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone hanging out on these videos. They're a lot of fun to do. I will make sure I link these lists. The Zoro Sanji is the winner today. Peace.